Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a round rug. This is my least favorite rug to make, and that's just simply because we're working in a real tight space to begin with. And anyway, we're going to go ahead and start. You'll make your first loop just like I showed you in the first video. And what we're going to do is we're going to chain two so that we have 3 loops here. And we're going to work in the first stitch. Now that we're going to put 8 single crochets in this very first chain stitch right here. And this is where it gets a little hard because it's sometimes really crowded. But we'll go 1, 2, 3. I imagine you could put more, but I think 8 works well. Pull that. 4, if we ever get it. I just work over top of my ends. I don't really mess with it too much. 5, I think that was 5, 6, 7, watch this be an odd number, well it wouldn't matter. 8, okay. Now we've got 8 stitches, single crochets inside that chain 1 loop. From this point on, we're always going to constantly be increasing because as this round gets bigger and bigger, it of course is going to need to fan out more. So in this first stitch, which this is going to be a little tight and it's going to feel a little awkward and cumbersome, just, hang in there and do the best you can. And you'll get it. It's the first few rounds that are the hardest. So I put 1 single crochet in that. And in that same single crochet, I'm going to put the second one, 2. And this is really tight working. Next one, 2 in this one. And 2 in that same one. And the next one is 2. This is the hardest row. You can hear my wrist popping and snapping. My hand's going to fall asleep shortly, I know it. And as you get the rug to be larger and larger, it'll be easier, of course, and it'll lay a little flatter. It's going to tend to want to fight you to begin with. But don't worry about it. If it looks like it needs more stitches, if it's curling too much, add 3 stitches. Because depending on the weight of your fabric, I'm doing okay so far. Depending on the weight of your fabric, you may have to add more. I think that needs another one there. And always put 2. You're constantly increasing, so that this will flare out really nice without ruffling. Just constantly increasing as you go. And this is starting to get some shape to it now. I can feel it's wanting to cooperate with me better. Starting to look more like a flat rug. I like using these rag rugs because they wash so easily. When you hang them on the line, it's going to take a couple days to dry. Keep that in mind. Also, when you wash it the first few times, it's going to lose a lot of little threads and whatnot. So be sure and check your trap in your refrigerator, in your washing machine. You could also wash it its first few times in a laundromat. There you have heavy-duty machines that are geared for catching more of these loose threads and whatnot. And after that, you shouldn't have any trouble with it. I like putting a rubber backing underneath my rugs in the bathroom, especially because I don't want people slipping and falling in the bathroom. And you can buy this rubber backing. It comes in a roll just about anywhere, and I have lots of this stuff so that I can put underneath all my runners and rugs, and they don't go anywhere. let's see, how many did I do there? I did 2 there already. Or did I? No, that's 1. But 2. If you want to, when I'm holding my thread, I don't try and just do this or this. I try and weave it between my fingers so that I can sort of control how much thread I've got here. Makes it easier to handle when I'm crocheting. I do this. I do a wrap, but I find it's too tight for this way. I did 1. Anyway, you'll just continue to work like this, constantly increasing. Always put, 2 in each one of them. If it looks like it's starting to ruffle, doing this type of thing, then you're doing too many stitches in each one, and you can skip one every little bit. Just keep an eye on it and see how it's doing. If it's curling up, you're not putting enough stitches in it. If it's ruffling and flaring, you've added too many. Sometimes you need 2, sometimes you need 3 stitches in each single crochet, and that just depends, like I said, on the weight of your rag strips. If you got real heavy ones. T-shirts make really great rag rugs. Also, the reason I like rag rugs is put it on the floor and it starts to get dirty and company comes, you just flip that sucker over. Let's see, I can do 1 in the next one, I think. When you come to the end, when you're completely done with your rag rug, you got it to the size you want, you're ready to finish it off, all you have to do is just pull up a loop, pull it through both, like that, pull it up, cut it, and weave your end in, just whip stitch it down, and you'll have a really nice round rag rug. I like them, they're sort of cute. Anyway, the next video will be a square or a rectangular rug.